This project began a year and a half ago when our youth group went to visit the Grand Canyon for the first time. I came prepared with my easel, canvas, and paints, and I found a beautiful place to set up underneath the shade of a small tree on the edge of a cliff overlooking Hopi Point. Everything was so still and quiet, save for the wind, and the colors were what grabbed my attention the most. The deep reds and purples in the strata and the soft blues that came from the hazy depth further down the canyon. But I hadn't seen anything yet until the sun neared the horizon. The colors seemed to come alive and glow as if they were taking the sun's light as it sunk further down and began to fade. As much as I wished I could paint fast enough to capture it then and there, I knew I wouldn't have the time. When I returned home, life picked up again, so the canyon painting was left hanging on my wall until I had time to complete it. Finally, a year and a half later, I finished it, and this is an explanatory video I filmed showing its process. The music in this video was composed by my brother, the second song he specifically created for this painting and video. So I hope you enjoy it. This painting is a different style from my usual realism, and I wanted every color I used to be seen and vibrant, and keep the focus on the complementary colors of the blues and reds. When I was sitting on that cliff at the canyon, something that struck me was how unearthly that landscape seemed. In this painting, I really tried to exaggerate that sense of foreign beauty as if it was from another planet. As an artist, you discover that certain colors play a part in capturing depth in a painting, and my favorite color to do this with is blue. To catch the vibrant light reflecting off the red sands, I used a metallic paint mixture of red, brown, and gold. As you can see, I'm painting on a black canvas instead of the usual white. In doing this, I now start with my highlights instead of my shadows. And it kind of changes things up a bit, but one thing I didn't know about the difference of painting on a black canvas is that the dark background makes the colors seem to glow. I didn't notice it until I was comparing this painting to another painting I did on a white canvas, and I'm really satisfied with this effect. To get the desired straight lines and details, I have to sometimes stabilize my hand with my face to reduce interference of my tremors from the cerebral palsy. That is one major reason I love art so much. It has helped me learn to turn my disability into an ability by overcoming difficulties and creating something beautiful from it in the process. As you may have noticed, the first couple layers throughout the painting are quite messy. I call this step blocking in my colors. I use this step more if I don't draw the picture out before I begin painting. Blocking helps me figure out where everything should go, and it lays down a nice layer of color before I add more detailed layers. Throughout the painting, I try using a consistency of certain colors for different shades and shadows of light on the bottom areas of the rock formations. Dark blues for the darkest shadows, deep purples for lighter shadows, and light golden purples for areas in the sunlight. Here I'm adding some details of the strata, keeping the style loose and mainly just focusing on general shapes and lines. For these highlights, I'm only using gold metallic paint to capture the brilliance of the sunlight. I definitely love this style of painting because, as you can see here, I am just putting splotches of paint here and there for the details, most of the time making it up as I go. It is definitely a liberating way to paint. For the final layer, I add in the streams of light. For this, I used a small damp mop brush. I began by adding watered down white rays and then added yellows and reds to create nice warm gradient sun rays. And now it is finally ready for the artist's signature.